Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the October 2nd, 2025 Planning Board meeting. I guess we can get this started, waiting for one more member, but we can go through some board information. First up on the agenda is approval of the minutes for September 4th. Does everyone have a chance to look at those?
Yeah.
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
Can I get a second?
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. We'll go on to the chairman's update. We did get information back from a peer review consultant for Hamilton Street. That is going forward. They are looking for his comments. Have you reviewed Hamilton Street to this point?
I have, and I talked to Tetra Tech. He's expecting his comments next week.
I'll just let their engineer know that. So that he's reached out to both Jeannie and myself, so.
Yeah, I spoke to him today.
And you're all set on your end?
No, I think I'll want to look at his and then, see what else I think. I mean, so no, I'd still need a final review.
Okay, so how long you think that'll take after that? We should have his by next week, so.
I think a day or two after. So if we get his midweek, just a day or two to look over it.
Okay. Nancy, when do we have them continue to?
Next meeting.
Was that October 16th? October 16th? Okay. All right, so if we can just try to make sure we have it tied up by then, because they gave us extra time, I think. And then I had technical issues on my end, so that would have put Tetra Tech back a week. So I let them know that, so, okay, thank you.
Okay, that should work.
We are due back from the applicant, the contractor on the mill building. Has anyone heard anything? They're continuing to do the work. Actually, they were told to stop, but they're continuing with the work.
Yeah, they have not submitted any revised plan or plan to address the wall.
There's two walls, I thought. There's the, what we're calling a blast wall, and then there's the wall that's been put down into the Saugus River to hold the earth back. That's not on the plans.
They had 2 walls?
There's two walls, yeah.
Oh,
There's a poured concrete wall along the bank of the river.
right. And I know the other wall you're talking about is kind of curved lower.
Then you have the blast
Like
wall
an
behind
embankment.
the transformer that protects the deck.
So no, I checked today. We haven't received anything.
Okay.
And I remember the last meeting, we were gonna get a revised plan.
Mr. Chair, should we have Nancy reach out to them and ask them just to?
Either Nancy or our building commissioner could reach out and find out what's going on.
Yeah, I just don't want them to
Because-
get to the end of the project and then
Exactly.
they're not gonna have their occupancy permit, then it delays everything.
Right.
So they're better off coming now.
And they were told that the last time they appeared before us and said they need a week or so, and that was 3 weeks ago, so. And they continue to work on it, so.
Okay. So you
Anyone
wanna-
have any
you wanna
questions?
You wanna ask?
Mr.
Mike to,
Chairman.
you know, reach out?
What's that, Bob?
Yeah.
On the chairman's corner? Do you have any questions that you'd like on any of the projects?
The peer review proposal on Hamilton Street,
Yes,
do you need a vote on having them,
it's, that, we've already passed that.
for the amount of money?
Yeah.
Yeah, we
They
did.
gave
we
us a
did-
proposal and they agreed to it.
we gave them a proposal, we got a proposal from Tetra Tech, they agreed to it.
When did you guys get the proposal? I didn't see anything.
We voted that night to engage with Tetra Tech, and then we discussed with them
Was I
that we
here?
would get the Yes, you were here. And we said,
I have this
they
one
would give us a
that's it.
proposal, and
That's the
then once we
proposal.
got the proposal, we would give it to Rick, and Rick would give it to the applicant, and if they were okay with it, it would be the green light, as opposed to holding them up another 2 weeks to come back at the meeting. We put that in there to vote that pending the approval of them, they would go forward. And they agreed to the amount.
This does not,
What is it? No, they're asking.
What?
this doesn't say there was a motion made to hire Tetra.
Yeah, there was.
What, the
No,
minutes?
it's not in the minute.
Oh,
Well, I didn't write the minutes, so I don't know. But I know I made the motion.
All right,
and it was
so
approved, yeah.
it's on the record at some place. Could we have Nancy double
It's on
check?
TV. Yes. If you want us to check on the TV, you can, I'm gonna send you the YouTube video and you can watch it when you get home.
No, it involved me.
Oh, tomorrow. 'cause the-
On YouTube?
What?
You wanna watch this on YouTube?
Yes, you can watch it on YouTube. You don't watch it on YouTube?
Oh, I think I need to, yeah, no, all the time now. It's not, it's permanent. Nancy, would you check to make, to-
He's saying it's not in the minutes. Bob, you aren't getting home to watch the Red Sox if you're gonna get hung up on this. I can tell you that much.
The Bruins-
Trust us that it's in the
Article
minutes.
5, Mr. Long, motion for peer review consultant, timeline and quote. The quote was
Not in the
submitted.
minutes.
what did you look at, John?
This is on the back part of your planning board. It's,
I'm sorry. Oh, Mr. Sallow must have distracted me.
he did.
Okay, fine.
Oh, not only was the motion made,
Bob made.
you made it.
For the amount of money,
Oh,
No, it wasn't for the
oh.
amount of money.
just to hire them.
We did. We're almost done.
Where's the amount of money?
In the quote. If the quote
The
is
quote I
not in
just
the
gave you,
minutes, the
Bob.
quote came
Yeah, I see this quote
afterwards.
here.
Yeah, that's the quote. That's the,
not, the quote is not.
We couldn't put the quote in the minutes because we didn't have it. We made the motion
yeah.
for Bob,
and the quote was sent
already
on to
done.
the
It's
applicant.
good,
We're
let's
moving
move
on.
on. Thank you.
Okay. Bill, where was I? Are there any other chairman's questions from the board? Refer this to our consulting engineer.
Yep,
Mr.
so, just got some updates of, the active projects. 860 Broadway, got no update on the electrical plan for the telephone poles. Still waiting on the peer review comments.
I thought they had a date on that, sir. I thought we were given a date when that was gonna take place.
Prior, we did, I think it's passed.
It has gone
I
past,
think it was the end of September.
right.
Yeah. Waiting on, then send us their regular SWIP reports as well, but, you know, I think they've had this, the Tetra Tech review for over 2 weeks, so, you know, hopefully by next meeting we'll have some update of, what they've addressed or outstanding items. Berthold Ave Extension, received, and I attached a copy of a wall monitoring plan, which was in lieu of some of the documentation on the geotechnical subsurface of that wall. So if you'd like to read over that, it's attached. Based on that, we issued them, engineering approved the lot 2 to move on with construction out of 3.
Nancy, do you have a copy of that agreement? The monitoring agreement? If you'd be so kind to someone over to Nancy so she can stamp it in?
Sure,
It'd be on record then.
yep. I can leave one tonight too. Chase Bank, Engineering's been going back and forth, trying to resolve some utility connection issues, kind of omissions and conflicts in their plans, just trying to resolve it. We have a meeting with them next week. So hopefully we can come to terms with what their plan is in terms of where they're hooking up to the water and how. And gonna ask them for a sewer profile just to confirm the depths they're gonna be installing to. 180 Central Street, you had asked about. They did install a sewer line last week in the location that was originally shown on the plans. However, it was the original, the pipe that made it on the plans was not the size that existed. It was 4, not 6, so they were able to tie in out front. So I think we discussed that at the last meeting, so that happens. I have not got the update on the wall. So I know they are proceeding with work inside. I'll get an update next meeting on, hopefully we'll see an updated plan, site plan next week, and a plan, a narrative on how they'll address the wall. Hamilton Ave, we talked about, expecting the comments next week. 1753 Broadway, the contractor Lynch has a cut and cap of the water sewer scheduled for next week, the 8th.
I'm sure they produced a permit license drain layer to do so.
Yeah, they applied for, they didn't have it prior, but they got one
Okay.
prior to doing that work. I know that I had asked them today to update their schedule, because originally they had showed demo completing like the end of August. Since it's passed, I asked them to update it. They are still working through DOT permitting approvals for, when they do tie in, or, maybe it's some cut and caps that are on DOT property, but,
Just as a reminder on that, it's mentioned in the DOT, they owe us some drawings on their emergency gate
yeah.
to the fire department, because there was no egress lane there.
Yep, I've seen something on that.
It's in the condition, so they're supposed to have it to us before the permit is released.
Okay. Item 7 here, 288 Broadway, the Continental Restaurant. They've received a cease and desist. They had performed some tree clearing. They had got a Concom approval, but they had not filed a stormwater permit through engineering or made a submission to planning board. Understanding is they will be coming with a planning board submission, but haven't got an indication of when.
Did you receive a copy of that approval
I did,
from Comcom?
yeah,
What was it, what date was that?
sometime in June,
In June?
middle end of June.
If you could
Can
send
you
us.
forward that to the board, yeah, please?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Rivercrest, you might remember, last fall, I guess, they had submitted the Form K, and they had left some money in the bond to expose the stormwater ports. So that hasn't been done. I reached out to them today to remind them of that, and, and also ask about the plan of submitting that to the town meeting for formal acceptance of the road. Just because they got the Form K approved by the board, they still have to go to town meeting to get the road accepted. And then part of that Form K was getting the port exposed.
There is a
And-
retainer, right, correct? Because they haven't finished all the work.
Yeah,
So the town is holding a retainer on until that work is done.
yes,
So that would have to be done before it goes to the town meeting.
yes.
Okay.
I got a comment on the talking to Dave Dwyer.
Yep.
He called up and asked about the process, which I'm sure he's familiar with.
Yep.
But anyway, apparently we're holding $5,000 for the uncompleted work down there. He said Menino's been late getting there. And, you know, they wanna get that thing through town meeting. That's just part of a list of streets that we sent, that come to town meeting for our approval as accepted streets. So that we can get more chapter 90 money. So I told him that he would have to get in touch with you.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, so the responsibility to get Menino down there. And once the work is done, have you, you know, say yes or no on our board, next board meeting, which I think is what, in 2 weeks. Hopefully we can get it off the table, so to speak.
Yeah, agreed.
For such a small project, it's been a lot of talk.
Yeah, we thought it was gonna happen in the spring.
Yeah.
You know, should be
Well, that was the deal. That's
days
why
worth
we-
of work. Maybe a couple, I don't know. And then I just have Raising Cane's, we talked about, there's some remaining money in the peer review fund. Talked about a landscape inspection. Think that'd be best in spring of '26 to see if there's any warranty.
I think I made a comment to you, but I'll make it as a public comment. I was notified by the owner of that property and asked what to do about the entrance at Raising Cane and US Grill House. And I told him the first thing I said to do was file with the DOT. You need an engineer to looking to put another entrance in. They have said exactly what this board said. There's been too many close calls for accidents up there. So,
The owner of Raising Cane's, which,
the owner of the property that Raising Cane is on, the Nickley family, he had reached out, asking how to go about putting a separate entrance in there. So,
didn't they take out? Didn't they take out the curb cut?
he's looking to do a separate one for US Grill House, because what they're doing is they got 3 directionals, traffic, one coming, one going, and one coming off the drive up, and it all dumps into that one. And he says, we sit there and we watch from the family porch, and it's just way too, and he spoke to the gentleman on the DOT, and he said he doesn't know how it even got through. He talked to the guy that come out and did it, he says he was totally up against it and didn't want it, but they said that he approved it, so. And they never produced a letter to the board. But, so it's something that may get kicked over to you.
Okay. That was it for the developments, unless you have questions about any other that aren't listed
You
here.
had additional items, red line drawing standard?
Yeah, that packet that we had gone over or given, just seeing if there's any outstanding comments or additions that any of the board members would want included.
This
Before
is
we
on what
just.
property? Raising
No,
Cane?
that's the red line standard.
Yeah, no, okay, right.
It's just in
that's-
general.
I didn't
He
know if there
wants
was
us
a
to
property you were
adopt.
trying to
No, he wants
attach
us
it.
to adopt those
No,
standards.
just additional
Yeah,
items, so.
we could do that with a vote.
Yeah, he wants to know if everybody went through them, if we have any additional comments or anything that we want him to tweak before we adopt them.
So we could wait for the rest of the board members, I think.
Okay.
So
Maybe
maybe,
wait till the next meeting.
yeah, maybe next meeting,
Yeah.
we just wanna kinda finalize that.
Yep. Okay, anyone else have any questions? I'll call on our clerk. Nancy, do we have any other submission or any site plan? Nothing else has been filed. So let me just say this, I was talking to Nancy earlier, and it's, plans like this have become a burden to bring for those that can't. Our procedures say that these submissions should be brought in the night of the planning board meeting. and then stamped at that time. So, for instance, we have something here on this September 11th. We received something from Richard's office September 24th. So it's kind of like all over the place. And then you don't get to it for 2 or 3 days, because this is a volunteer board. Some people just can't make it by the time town hall closes. They don't get the proper time to review some of this stuff, so. If it's done at the meeting, then it could be stamped in here, and it could be passed out here, and
But then if you could potentially lose 2 weeks. If somebody was submitting, you're saying that submittals are only done here?
so you would have it on that Thursday night.
And then it would, but then I'm saying we would just be getting it, so that goes against what we're saying, we want it we want it a week
Well, we
before, so
want
we have time to
before.
review it.
So if it comes that Thursday night, you still have your 2 weeks to review it before the
Okay.
next
So
meeting.
instead of bringing it to town hall on that Thursday,
Right.
bring it here,
Right,
and she stamps it in here,
Yeah.
and then everybody gets it on here,
right.
and then the clock wouldn't stop for a
It-
week from there?
It would be
Because
two,
your clock starts when it gets stamped
and when
in.
it gets stamped in here, not at Nancy's office. So like, let's say that this come in on a Tuesday,
Just,
and it gets stamped in.
What? At the clerk?
Submissions also have to be stamped in at town clerk's office.
in the town clerk.
So I don't know if you'd have two different stamp dates.
Well, I understand that's an issue with what the procedure says. So, the old way is, everyone just brought it to Nancy's office, gave it to Nancy, and then she makes the phone call, and who can get there, who can't get there. So it leaves some people without the correct amount of time to review some of these drawings. So if it's done, we know that it's in, we know the night that it came. Or the other thing that it says, it could come certified mail, which I don't wanna get into that either. So,
Submit it at a meeting and then have it stamped in at the clerk's office the next day.
then she could bring it to the clerk's office the next morning. All she needs is one copy. So this way, she walked in tonight, she needed a moving company to get in, so. It's just something that we need to look into going forward. Any other
But you
questions?
usually stamp all of them, because all of our plans get stamped, don't they?
Have you
Just
said?
the time stamp all?
Hmm? Just one gets stamped at the clerk.
Okay, but the ours are dated.
Then there's a planning board stamp.
Okay. All right.
Any other questions?
Nope. We'll open the public hearing.
Yeah. It's now come time for the first public hearing. It's a master plan review for 948 Broadway. Attorney Richard Magnan, please.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, for the record, Attorney Richard Magnan, with an office at 194 Central Street, Saugus, representing the Wong family, owners of the parcels of land, which is subject to a hearing, concurrent hearings, actually, on the master plan application and the site plan review application for the redevelopment of the Kowloon property. I think a couple of the members of the board have already been quite familiar with this through the DPRC Review Committee meeting, which we had back in July of '24. DPW submitted a response to that meeting with a multi-page commentary, which the applicant addressed, and from that evolved the next step after the pre-application DPRC meeting, the submission of the master plan and site plan review approval. Present this evening, Bob Wong, his son Dennis Wong, John Barrows from Marshonda Engineering, and Mike McEwen from Myra's PA is Professional Architects. And I'll turn this over to Mike at this time.
Before Mike starts, I just want to make sure that this is a public hearing. Anyone in the audience that would like to speak in favor, before or against, when the time comes, please get up and do so. Sir?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, members of the board, Michael McEwen with Dennis Myers, the Architects, Manchester, New Hampshire. Thank you, Rich, for the introduction, representing the Wong family. concurrent master plan and site plan review. If it pleases the board, I was just going to do a quick overview because it's been a bit of time since the DPRC meeting to bring everyone back up to speed with the project details and then field any questions regarding the submission.
That would be great.
We have two packages here, the engineering drawings, site plan, and master plan drawings, which include existing conditions.
Excuse me for 1 second, I'm sorry. Bob, do you want to come sit over here so you can see better? I didn't
No,
mean to interrupt,
I'm
I just wanted, so you want to sit in Phil's seat so you can see?
I've looked at these plans, I
All right.
think I know where he's going.
Okay. But for purposes of this, I'll just refer to the architectural plans, which are a little bit easier to read, and then if there are any engineering questions, we can turn to those sheets. So 948 Broadway, there's two buildings.
Should tell me about Route 1.
You can. You can bring it to his attention. You look at the bottom of the drawing.
On your drawings, take a look at the drawing, see where it says Route 1
Yes,
North, Route 1 South.
yes, sir.
It's on the wrong side of the
You're on
highway.
the wrong
Yes,
side,
yes. Well, I think maybe that was an Easter egg we left to make sure people were paying attention. Thank you for that. We'll get that remedied. So there's two buildings proposed for the development. There's been many iterations of the development. We started with fairly maximizing the amount of units that were allowed per the zoning that this was subdivided and approved under. But during their DPRC meetings, the meetings with the DPW, the neighbors, and different boards through the town, it was requested to fall back on that unit count a bit. We initially started with 220 one-bedroom units for this mixed-use development, and the current proposed is 198. It's roughly a 10% reduction from the originally proposed some year ago. There are two mixed-use buildings. The first floor of both buildings would have a commercial use, retail. We'll call it Building 1 and Building 2. We're calling them Building 1 and Building 2. The current Kowloon sits in the Building 2 location, so that would have to be phased construction in order for that use to stay current and to not be interrupted, the Kowloon business. So the idea is the half of this building is a retail use, and then the other half is some under building parking for the Building 1. And Building 2, the entire first floor is retail commercial space. There's a small component in the back of Building 2 which is a deliberate separation of the retail and the residential arrival experience. This is a welcoming lobby, multiple elevators, a staircase that is solely for the retail apartment users in this building to come get their mail, get their packages. It's tucked around the building. It's deliberately separate from the retail spaces of this building. Likewise, for Building 1, there's a separate entry at the rear of the building for the apartment users where the retail space would happen at the front of the building. They're both 6-story buildings. This would be a schematic of how the unit apartment mix could be laid out and is proposed. Again, it's all one-bedroom apartments, roughly 700 to 850 square feet each. This is Building 1, so we have the retail for half of the ground floor, the under building parking, under the building for half of that, and then we have 5 stories of apartment units above. And likewise for the second building, the entire first floor would be commercial retail space. There's the lobby to access the apartments, and these are the upper floors of the apartments, 5 floors for a total count of 198 units. The proposed development would all be high-end commercial construction. There's no use of wood proposed here. This would all be steel stud, poured concrete floors, fire retardant materials on the exterior and the interior of the building. The goal of our client is to design something that's built to last, that's well thought out and will stand the test of time. There's flat roofs for easy fire access in the case of a fire for the fire department. They've looked at it, and I really appreciate some of the cues that we've taken. In here you can see some parking in the front. The majority of the parking, however, is at the rear of the site. And there's a mix of materials for the buildings. They're designed concurrently with one sort of modern feel for both buildings, but they're different. And there's splashes of color and accent and open materials to signify where the retail spaces are, where your circulation is, and a little bit of homage to some signage to let people know this is still the Kowloon site, and the Kowloon would remain in the building 2. This would be a view, schematic view of Route 1. The idea was to use some wood look materials. They are all cementitious, so they're all Class A fire retardant materials, but to warm up the site, you know, to not have these buildings be cold, for them to be very welcoming, open during the daytime and the evening. And between the buildings to progress into the back, that's deliberately accented in the design with some color and some treatments to let people know this is really where the fun is happening on site. You know, this would be a view of Building 2, and this would be the main entrance of the Kowloon, the future home of the Kowloon, where there'd be inside and outside seating, a mix of people. Just the hope is to have a really cherished experience here at the building. And again, separating the arrival of all of the apartment tenants, they would come up and access their units in the back of the building to separate them. There are 2 lanes proposed for a drive-through, and that is tucked just behind the building. And then all of the apartment tenants would be further behind that. So we didn't want to mix any of those cars coming and going with the commercial space of the building and the tenant arrival.
So is the drive-through gonna be in, will there just be one Kowloon building? The drive-through will be with that same, in that building 1? It's not gonna be a separate drive-through in the building 2?
So currently there's one proposed for Building 1 for that use, and there's one proposed for when the Kowloon moves over for this use.
Okay,
The
alright,
Kowloon-
that's where I was confused. I thought
Kowloon's-
it was just one in building
Yeah.
1.
This one is really modest because this is
Small.
designed to be a temporary restaurant. You could see it's half the square footage of what the restaurant will likely become. And the reason for the 2 lanes in the back of this building is one would be a drive-through, but you need a way for people to get, if they get in that lane, or there's other, food pickup that they're not mixing. But that's tucked in between the back of the building, and then all of the apartment stuff happens back here.
And the connection with that is that a bridge?
It is.
Just a bridge over
Yeah.
the drive-through?
Yep, I'll just show you a couple of views of the back. So originally when this went before the DPRC, the rear building portion was much larger, and it was set much closer to the residential homes in the back. And that was brought up as a concern about, privacy and sight lines and things. And in the reduction of units, this back portion used to be twice as long. And it used to be 20 to 30 feet closer to that residential neighborhood. And what we deliberately did in hearing people's comments was, it wasn't that great to have it close to that residential neighborhood. So all of the unit reduction came from this back of this building, to bring it as close to these as possible, and to make that area between the buildings as large as we could. One comment that was made in terms of sightline was, you know, there's people with pools up on the hill and there's people with really nice backyards, and they didn't really want someone in a 5-story apartment staring into their backyard. So at the end of this building, these windows are 5 foot off the floor. There's no sight line from the back of that building to that residential area. And that was a request, and we were happy to meet that request.
So back to the drive-throughs. Have you gotten an approval from the selectmen for them as of yet?
That was part of the program that was submitted to the selectmen when we went for our SB2 permit, and that wasn't raised as a concern.
That is a concern, though. They need to approve your drive-throughs.
That's understood.
Okay.
She's-
It wasn't, and John, the reason why I'm confused is because we didn't deliberately ask for it separately, so I believe that's something that will come.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you have an elevation of the bridge from the roadway? I don't see it on the plans.
So, thank you, Mr. Chair. So you won't see it from the Route 1 side. This is the rear of the,
Yes, I got that.
yep, so that connector is tucked in behind the building.
Okay, so what is the elevation of the pad that walks across?
So, that you can see right here in this flat elevation.
Yeah.
And we have our floor lines.
Yeah.
So basically, you're driving under at grade here, and then that is the entire building.
Okay.
So it's at roughly 16 feet
16
off
feet.
ground,
Okay.
and it goes up. So that each apartment, you can take an elevator to the second floor and walk right over if you have a unit on second floor. Or, you know, if you need to get your packages on floor 2, you can do that. Then there's an elevator on both sides. You can choose which one you want. You can go all the way up to the 6th floor, walk over.
Thank you.
And on this elevation, we note the materials, we have dimensions and the fenestration. The idea is to have high-performing buildings, town water, town sewer, which all will be submitted in terms of engineering, gas for the project, for the commercial uses. And then in terms of the heating systems for the apartments, it could end up being gas or it could be electric. It all depends on the final design of the apartments. But the idea is to have a really well-designed arrival experience during the daytime, during the evening, and to accentuate where the special areas are on the site, where people are going to want to go that are there to get some food or whatever that second retail experience becomes, to visit that location as well.
Looks good.
Board members have any
Thank you.
questions? Ms. Lowen?
How many units are we talking about in that, back addition there?
It's roughly around 20. It's 4 to 5 a plate, depending on which floor you're on. But there's none on the ground level. That's all a nice
Servicing.
a glass lobby, which you can see in some of the back views.
And also, you have 2 exits, yeah, 2 exits. The one over here by the hotel though, looks like it's a little bit of a tough turnaround, tough entrance and exit, just based on the way the drawing is showing here.
That's a great point, Mr. Long. So we do have access to both adjacent parcels,
Right,
and then we have the main entrance and the main curb cut. So we're intending for the primary entrance and exit to be that main curb cut. But if people need to go to, you know, if they're coming from Red Roof or they're coming from the adjacent parcel, Hobby Lobby, I believe it is, they can access the site without having to get on Route 1, which was an intent of the zone.
So that is actually owned by the Long family and part of this, you're
The
using part of
hotel.
that as the density?
The hotel is, yes, sir. Yeah.
Do you have, I'm sorry, go ahead, Bob.
now, I was gonna say, on the main entrance and exit, is this white line a deceleration lane?
That is a sidewalk currently,
It's just a sidewalk.
just a sidewalk.
Are you going to have any kind of acceleration?
We would follow the recommendation of the peer review.
Okay,
It's undetermined at this time. I'm not sure as though it's required by code, but Tetra Tech has had thoughts on those things in the past, so we would follow the peer review.
Kevin, any questions? Jeannie?
one further thing.
Go ahead, bud.
The entrance from Ocean State. Right now, when I go to the restaurant, I use that one, so. There's gonna be an agreement which will be provided to the planning board that the owners of Ocean State have agreed to continue the use of that opening onto the property.
Yes. There's an easement in place, I believe, and we'll just make sure that they're notified of this.
That was with the old owner, I believe.
Yeah.
It's, the job lots, it is, I
Well,
don't know if it's the same landlord, but we'd like to see
sure.
an agreement.
Yeah.
I mean, I know the DOT recognizes that, but just for insurance purposes, so.
Absolutely.
Also, as a condition too on the hotel, the hotel is part of this now, right? The hotel,
Right,
because in your filing
right.
on that. So any agreements that, on that, a lot over there, should the party that's doing the development ever decide to separate out the hotel and get rid of all the agreements, would follow, as you know, when you put them under a master plan, they go in perpetuity on that, the use of the land and all that stuff. Okay,
So it does call for, in the parking plan, it does state 108 spaces?
We have an overall parking assessment for the entire 7 acres,
Is
which,
that part of your 7 acres?
yeah,
the
so
revenue?
we
Okay.
broke it all out based on the apartments, 1 per unit, the commercial space, 1 per 300 feet, and the hotel uses. And I believe you can look at the first page of the engineering report. I think we're 20 spaces to the good. Based
It's
on,
close to 88 spaces, yeah, you're saying there's
Yeah.
88 spaces.
yeah,
I don't know what the agreement was at the time with the Wong family and what the past board required per room. You're showing 3/4 of a car per space to get to that 88?
while you're doing that.
That's the
Motion
required,
to
That's
table
a zoning
to the
requirement.
7:30 hearing.
that's the required amount, but we actually have 108.
Jean?
yeah, so,
Can I
What?
just interrupt you for 1 second, just to stay on line there?
Yeah.
I'd like to get a motion to table the 7:30 meeting.
So moved.
We
All in favor?
don't have to table it, we just don't.
Well, I know it's all together, but it's just to be on the record.
It's advertised.
You can
as
start
public-
it late, you just can't start it
It's
early.
No.
advertised a public
Okay, we do
hearing.
have public.
Actually, we should have tabled it at 7:30.
What?
So we just need a motion.
I never heard of that.
Well, no,
All right, we have a motion
Why are
before
we
us.
tabling it? We're gonna start it as
So
soon as
we gotta
we end
keep
this
going
one.
though, so we just wanna make it into the record.
I'm not making that motion, I don't think we need.
Well,
I do.
All right,
The table is
I'll second it, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 2-1.
That is still,
Okay, continue, I'm sorry.
no, that's quite all right. So what we have on our parking tables is the required based on the zoning and then the provided.
Mhm.
So for Red Roof, there's 88 required at the, you're right, the 75 per room. We have 108 currently over there.
Okay.
And we're not proposing any alteration of that site, to be honest.
Well, how would you access that if you're gonna use that for parking for up above?
Well, there's the drive access, but we're not planning on.
Not get technical, but
Needing it.
we'll go through this
Yeah.
to the engineer. It's 21.6 feet in elevation between that parking lot and the one below it. It seems pretty steep in the amount of space that you have to make the grade work, and especially now you're gonna have to add handicap sidewalks to it.
Are you referring to the difference in grade between Red Roof and,
That's correct.
right? So, actually, at the front of the site, I don't think it's quite 21 feet where the access drive is.
Well, according to your contours, which aren't many,
Yeah, I don't think it's that much, because, I mean, well, right now,
you're showing it on the plan, 90 at the top, and 61.7 or 67.1 rim elevation at the bottom. That's okay, it's fine, it's just something that, I'm just trying to,
yeah, we're maxed out, that access drive, I think, is at 10%.
Yeah, but I can actually shed some light on that.
Yeah.
The overage for the 20 that we have, more than the required, is likely the 20 extra spaces that are over there. So we
So you're
don't
not-
really
you don't
see
plan
any
on
need.
using-
It's not a shared parking configuration,
okay.
right, John?
Because in the
So-
DCPR
yeah.
meeting,
So
you
what,
said that,
They cut back some of the units.
yeah,
That's-
yeah, and we were up against it when we first went to DPRC in
Yeah.
terms of our parking. I mean, we were within a space or two.
Yeah.
Because we were pushing the limits of our units. But when we laid this out, you know, the commercial can fit in the front, the apartments parking can fit in the back. And it's not a shared parking configuration. We're not gonna send people over to Red Roof to park. They're just gonna be parking for
it's
their
just an
hotel stays.
awful long walk for a resident.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's why we can take those 20 to the good, leave them over there.
Yeah.
And we meet the requirements on this side of the site.
Okay.
So,
Do we have underground parking here?
There's no underground parking, there's level parking on,
Under the building.
Both
on
buildings?
one facility. Just the
On-
building,
Yeah.
just building one. I guess it's building two being done first. Yeah. Okay, any other questions? I'm sure there's a lot, but at this time,
You just mentioned it, the elevations themselves, just a raw drawing of the different elevations.
yeah.
I think we should have, am I missing something?
No, this is a presentation we can take and go back and, now that he has explained it to us, get a little bit better view of what's actually happening. Then you can put your mind to what you've,
Because just now, the two of you folks were going back and forth
yeah.
over the change in the elevation. I'd
Yeah.
like,
I'm just quoting what it says on it.
well, I'd like
So,
something official, maybe I'm missing it.
well, but we'll, guess we go down the road here.
Yeah.
Once he's done here, before we go into the next one, we'll.
Just another
we'll-
idea to jot down, John.
Right, I appreciate that. Sir?
I would just have a question about the sequencing. So the restaurant will be open while the first building's being built, is that right? So just mentioning something to the board, you know, we've been getting the construction management plan after approval, but prior to the building permit. I think it might be good to get a look at that, you know, how equipment will be staged and how that'll be an active construction site during the time the restaurant's open. You know, just to get an idea of those logistics.
yeah, that 241 plan is gonna be a book for this project, and that's part of the building permit submission that has all of your fire ready, your safety requirements, your fire access for apparatus, where your temp water line's gonna be for fighting a fire and all
I
that.
guess what Kevin is saying is the board would like to see that prior to the submission, especially for the stage construction. It's a night, where we had just up the street from here, we had another development went in where one of the trucks from the development was pulling out and struck a tanker truck on Route 1. So when the trailers were leaving, they needed to pull into the second lane to make the turn, and it was almost a catastrophe. So it's just, we're trying to figure all this out before we get too deep into it. So, if we could go, assuming, who was the developer? Do you know who the builder
So
was?
generally, that 241 is provided by the builder,
Right,
and we don't have
Okay.
that ironed out
Who-
right now.
do we have a builder for this project at this time?
Not at this time,
You don't? Okay. So that's why I'm bringing that, yeah.
TBD at this point.
It's gonna be a tough go at it, trust me. Mr. Long, any other questions?
Not at this time.
Okay. Would you like to move on to the next meeting? Do we open it up to the public at this point?
You can open it up to a vote if anybody has any questions.
So we do have some people from the public. Does anyone in the audience have any questions? If you please come to the podium, state your name and your address.
Anthony Sorrentino, 10 Kayla Drive. I was just curious on time frame on when it was supposed to start to finish.
We haven't determined that as of yet.
Okay, so it's still in the planning stages?
Yeah.
Approvals and so?
I can honestly feel for you because I'm at the end of the street
Okay.
along with that. And we were told it's a 20-month project and it's now been 5 years. Just to give you an idea, so
Okay.
it's been a nightmare.
Okay,
So-
thank you.
I can speak to typical construction durations for the building.
Yeah, please.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Chair. That was a great question. If we got our approval tomorrow from the planning board, it was Christmas, and and we just said that was good. We still have construction documents, which is about 6 months. That goes to the building inspector to review. There's peer review here, so there's engineering, stormwater, so there's a bunch of engineering eyes on it here. But then there's also peer review for the building department. So let's just say that's in hand. The buildings are, based on their size, roughly, we'll just probably say 14 months of construction. They're not small. Certain parts of it can go up quickly, and then certain parts of it are gonna take some time. The interior fit up and those sorts of things. And they can't happen at the same time, because we're keeping the restaurant while one goes up. So we'd like to shorten that time frame as much as possible between the two. That's a TBD at this point, but typical construction for a building this size is about 14 months, start to finish.
Thank you.
Anyone else like to get up, speak? Hearing none?
So would you like to have the board pick peer review tonight so we can get that ball rolling and we can
Yeah.
engage in peer review and get that part of
Wanna
it
make a
going so we
motion?
can get that going? Okay,
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to, who do we want to use? Does the board have a recommendation? Who would you like to use for peer review on this?
Building this size and what we put, the name has come up, Tetra Tech. We've had some pretty good luck. They work very well with the developer, they work well with the planning board. They're pretty good, pretty responsive,
Yeah,
as far as
pretty
getting
quick
back,
turnaround,
so.
and they're pretty good with it. So my question is, we've done it two different ways in the past, where one, we make the motion to bring Tetra Tech on, the board approves it, and then we have them submit a quote for the peer review, and then we can run it by you guys, and we can do it what we did last time. We vote to approve it, and then if you guys agree,
Yeah.
then we can get the ball rolling without making you have to come back another 2 weeks. Or we can give a blanket amount and then, hope that's enough, and then if it's not and it changes, it just seems more sound to get a quote from them and kind of locks them in.
I think that's how
With
we
the-
did it
with the
for the last one. Yeah, that would be great.
Okay,
So we would need 2 peer review consultants if that's the case. We'd need one for the civil work and we would need one for the architectural work. So there would be 2 peer reviews, both with different,
so we'll get the
Ideas.
quote and scope for both of those, and then I'll send it, or one of us will send it to you, or who would we send it to?
Through Mr. Magnin?
Mr. Magnin,
Sure.
send it to you as soon as we get that, and then if the client gives the green light, then we'll ask them to get started right away?
Sure.
Okay, all right, so, Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to, engage with Tetra Tech to start the peer review, or to provide a quote to the applicant to do the peer review.
I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye,
Motion passes 3-0.
okay.
We'll get going on that.
And then I'll make a motion to continue this public hearing to our next meeting. You wanna do the next meeting, or would you say go two meetings out?
Is there a duration, a typical duration that you've been trying to hold the peer review to?
So on a small one, we tried, like the last one, just to give you an example, it was very small, and we asked them to get it done in 2 weeks. I don't think they'll get this
Yeah.
done in 2 weeks, but I would say, I would say reasonably to go through this, I I wouldn't think it would take them more than a month. What do you think?
They
I
should,
don't
they
wanna
should
speak
be
for
able
them.
to
We
do
can
it
ask
within
them
a
in the
month's
quote
time.
to
I
give
mean,
us, we could ask them in the quote to give us an estimated time frame.
The board
Does
got
that
2
work?
weeks, so.
We're gonna meet in 2 weeks, am I right, Mr. Chair?
Excuse me?
We're gonna meet in 2 weeks. We're going to meet in 2 weeks.
We're gonna meet in 2 weeks. The only other thing that I could ask for, and I don't know if it'll help us any or help any of the neighbors, is if we could locate this building out in the field with cones or whatever, so that the owners out back get an idea how far it is away, or,
There's one drawing in this set that's really telling.
yeah, but you know
a
what,
couple
for
of-
someone that doesn't do it every day, it's, they don't get the feel for it. They're not gonna get the feel of how tall 6 stories is. The one in front of me is 4, and it seems like the Prudential building.
All right, let's finish my motion
Yeah,
before we get off. Okay, so I made a motion
yeah, he seconded it, I approved,
and we
passes
voted
3 to
that.
0.
Okay, so do we want, just to clarify that, do we want them to put in the quote an estimated time frame, or do we want to just have you guys continue? I'm trying to make a motion to continue the public hearing. I just want to know when you want me to continue to. I don't want to drag everybody here in 2 weeks if nothing's changed yet and waste everybody's time and money. So,
I think the month is more reasonable than a 2-week
I agree.
expectation of peer review.
okay, and I'll keep
For a
you,
project this size.
I'll keep you informed when we're communicating with Tetra Tech, get the quote to you, and then an estimated time frame too, so you guys will have that.
That's perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so at this time, I will make a motion to continue this public hearing until, Nance, what's the next meeting? What's a month? What's that date? November 6th?
In November.
November 6th? To November 6th.
I get a second?
Wait a minute, how many days is that do we have?
It's a month. It's a month. We're gonna continue it for a month.
We need to hire the consultant,
Mhm.
right? How many days do we have from tonight to do that?
Well, we're gonna get a quote, we're gonna send it tomorrow, get a quote from them.
So we'll get,
As soon as we get the quote, we're gonna give it to them.
Yeah.
And if they agreed to the quote, they'll get started right away, and then they have a month to work on it.
Can I
Hopefully,
suggest-
that'll all take place in the next couple
Can I
days. We'll get on
suggest-
it right away.
Attorney Magna, you'll give us an extension to put this all together?
I'd like to make, on your motion, a comment. We're gonna meet, when's our next meeting?
October 17th, 15th,
16.
16.
16th?
Is it possible by that, in 2 weeks' time,
It's impossible.
that Tetra Tech can look at these plans and come up with an estimate at that point in time to tell us how much they would be looking for at that, on the 2 weeks from now, that the attorney, Mr. Magnan, be here and give him the number and have him contact his client to find out whether or not it's acceptable.
Well, they could do that behind it.
Yeah, they don't need to do
They
that
can
at
write
a
back, they
meeting.
can, unless you
Christmas
want,
and Thanksgiving's coming, I don't want to deal with this for years and years and years.
That's why we're trying to streamline it and speed it up by not making them wait 2 weeks. If we get the quote, if we reach out to Tetra Tech tomorrow and they give us the quote tomorrow and they give them the green light, they start this tomorrow. If we make them come back here to give us the quote, the clock doesn't even start for 2 more
Wait,
weeks.
Wait a minute.
That puts you
Tetra Tech
closer to
Starts
this.
nothing unless we sign a contract with them.
Right,
Right.
so
But we
that's
could
what we-
sign a
what we
contract
want from Tetra
tomorrow
Tech.
instead of waiting 2 weeks.
No, I don't want to wait 2 weeks, I want them, I want to see all the stuff I have here. I want that in their hands by the next couple of days.
That's what my motion
Okay.
did.
And at the same time.
We are on the same page, Bob. Moving right along.
Well, wait a minute. English is a language here, I like to hear. It's- From my point of view, is that we have.
You are missing your ball game right now.
I will
just
give
wanna point
Mr. I
that
will
out.
give Mr.
Red Sox are starting
And
right
I'm missing the
now.
Bruins playing the
You already
Caps.
missed the Bruins. That's all on you.
Anyway.
And now you're missing the Red Sox. And you're making us all miss the Red
No, what I would
Sox.
like to do is have Tetra Tech or whatever, come back here in 2 weeks. And that Richard, Mr. Magnan, be the attorney.
What they're gonna need, Bob, is they're gonna need, Tetra Tech is gonna need a PDF. So if we could ask the applicant to get Jeannie
So.
The information, or I could give you the information
Digitally already.
through Nancy.
Yep.
I will forward
And-
that all to
Yeah.
Tetra
Okay.
Tech tomorrow, get you the
I
quote.
will be on the
and we'll
phone
do
with,
all that.
with one of their principals tomorrow morning, so,
We've been through this rodeo before, it works great.
yep,
Yeah.
okay.
Thank you.
All right, all right.
I'm just assuming we don't have an open checkbook, that's what my
No,
assumption is.
we've,
We're
It's
gonna
not
get a
getting-
quote and we're gonna run the quote by them. All
When?
right, now, because you've interrupted my motion, I forget where I was with my
We
motion.
approved your
Did
motion.
I
It
already
passed.
continue this? Did we second and vote this continuance?
We're in a
Did we?
motion to continue the
We
public
did
hearing.
that?
Wasn't second.
Okay, somebody second my motion, please?
I'll second.
No. All in favor?
All in favor? Aye.
Great.
Motion passes 3-0.
Moving right along. Start the second hearing?
Move to take the 8 to 7:30 hearing from the table.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0.
Okay, now open the motion. Open the.
I'd like to open the public hearing on the site plan review permit for 948 Broadway. Mr. Megan?
Without necessarily having to go to the podium. Richard Magnan, attorney, 194 Central Street, Saugus, representing the Wong family regarding site plan review application, which has been filed concurrently, which is allowed under our zoning bylaws. The purposes of having the master plan application and the site plan review application be heard at the same time, and with that, I'll defer it to the board for further questions to the previous speakers.
I will state that, again, this is a public hearing. Anyone that wishes to speak in favor or against is welcome to come to the podium. State your name and address. I'll turn it back over to,
Without need of heading to the podium, Michael McEwen from Dennis Myers, the Architects, representing the Wong family for 948 Broadway. Everything I mentioned in the master plan stands for the site plan approval. Welcome any questions. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, at this time, would you like me to include the peer review with the site plan too? We've already got the
well,
motion for that, so we
if
don't need
there's,
to.
with the public hearing, anyone that, but I think if anyone has any questions, I know the period has been shot to review. I don't know if Kevin has any questions, so we'll open it up to the board to see if there's any questions. Mr. Long, do you have any questions on the site plan review?
No, I assume.
Peer review is
Was
gonna
someone
review
speaking?
them
No.
both,
Yeah,
I would
I
say.
assume we've
It's
had
gonna-
the same motions that we
Yeah.
had.
I myself have a lot of questions, but I can wait for the peer review consultant. I personally would like to see more contours on the plan, just to give you a little bit of an idea. Has anyone done any borings up there to see what we got for ledge?
We've done, John Barrows from Marshall and Associates. We've done soil test pits for the stormwater system. As far as structural borings for the buildings, we have not done those.
Okay, do we have any intention of doing those?
I assume we're gonna need that for all the design of the structural portion of the site.
Okay.
But as far as the stormwater goes, we did, find very good soils up in the front, I guess the front right corner if you're facing the building from.
Living on that hill, I know that,
Eventually you get into ledge up there, yeah.
and I just, in fairness to the residents out back, we need an exceptional plan here.
Yeah, and speaking to that, Mr. Chair, it's a great point. There's no subgrade design for these buildings at all besides that's necessary structurally. So there would be a hefty geotechnical report that would do all of your test pits and your soil analysis structurally. But what we have done here, given that there's a giant rock cut in the back, is to set the buildings basically on the ground. They're slab on grade, generally speaking. So we're not having to dig down and pull big chunks of rock.
Well, you have a difference in elevation. You're not gonna put a slab in that's gonna run 3 feet out of level.
We do have to cut and fill
Yeah.
and do a bit of that, but we're not looking to get into the ground with a basement level of any kind.
So you would raise the grade from the back, which would make your buildings taller. In the front.
No, sir, we set them forward to get them as level as we could.
Oh, is that,
Yeah.
so then you've done test pits then?
I don't think there's been any digging out there just yet,
Yeah, so-
but that's just.
Because I'd be worth millions if I could go to every project and just say ledge, no ledge.
Yeah, no, that certainly has to happen.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is, we're not looking to cut a big hole in the ground for the project.
Okay. So what else might be needed just to move it forward?
Same motion,
Question?
hiring tech from the site plan review.
Yep.
However she wants to word it.
Why don't you make the motion?
No, you do it.
Because as soon as
I
I
like
make the
second.
motion, you're gonna change it and tell me to make it differently. So I think you should make the motion, and I'll second it for you. Save us about 15 minutes.
No, I wouldn't do that to you.
So can I get a motion, please?
I make a motion that we engage Tetra Tech in some peer review for the site plan as well.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0.
That motion.
Now I'm gonna make a motion to
Oh, no.
continue.
We have to open it up to the public.
I thought you already did.
Oh, I
Didn't
thought
you
we
already do
did.
that?
Is there anyone that would like to come up and speak in favor of anything that we just had to say, or against? People that live up back are well aware what's gonna happen?
Yes.
No? Where are you located in that site?
10 Keller Drive.
So you're to the back of it.
So you get a free concert every weekend.
By the pool, by the deck. We enjoy it.
I know I go out my deck and listen to it, now I'm up the end of the street
Yep,
with
Nice.
classy music, so.
They do a
we're
good
gonna
job.
miss the music.
Yeah, you won't be able to do that with the new one, right?
No,
There's no
no.
space.
Once we start digging the first building, it's gonna go away, because we need that for parking.
I better get up there and have another concert before it's over, right?
Well, so it
Is it
depends
already
on when
over?
we actually
Depends, I
dig.
know.
Yeah, I know, we've been waiting a few years, so.
Mr. Wong, have you put this out to bid to a general contractor or a developer at
Not
this
yet,
time?
we're gonna be doing all that.
You're gonna be doing all that, okay. I just know that it's gonna be almost an impossible site, it's gonna be very tight to work.
Yeah.
So, they have their challenge and we'd like to fill it out before we get too far down the road and everything has to change, so. A motion to leave the public hearing open at this time?
I'm gonna make a motion to continue it, but Bob has something first.
No, just a quick question. Which building are you gonna do first, the one on the right or the left?
Right.
On the right,
Basing it, yeah.
okay. Because you really wouldn't want your restaurant down.
No, no. Well, that's what everybody's telling us, they're telling us not to
You're not gonna be
close.
very popular
I know,
if
but
that happens.
You're probably looking for a little break, right?
I'm looking for a long break.
I see him walking back and forth, right back and forth to work it. He never stops.
It keeps you in shape.
Yeah,
don't need the
yeah.
So,
He's been in it a lot longer than I was.
And formerly,
I know his feeling.
who's running the one up in New Hampshire?
We have managers up there, yeah. I go up there periodically, but we're partners with the casino, so they have a food and beverage director that oversees the entire casino, and he's immersed into that.
So
have you been over?
the name's there,
Have you
but
been to one?
Yeah,
the
yeah.
hands aren't as strong.
No, definitely not.
I make a motion to continue this public hearing to November 6th.
I'll second that.
It's the sixth.
The 6th, Nancy?
Yep, a month.
1 month?
Well,
Second?
motion passes 3-0.
Now I'm going to make my favorite motion,
No.
motion to adjourn.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye,
Meeting is now over.
thank you.